Hey everyone, this is just a quick channel update. I have a new headset, so I might sound a bit louder than I normally am, but I'm just giving you a channel update. There's just going to be some gameplay in the background, so you're not just looking at a black screen or a static image. But as you've noticed, I'm getting kind of hectic with the schedule. Not every time is going to be Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I'm trying to adhere to that as much as possible because that's how the schedule's been for at least almost, I think, probably almost a year and a half now. I'm debated whether or not actually changing that to 3 consecutive days in a row, and then after that, the rest of the week there's nothing. I can take that time to work on more episodes and relax and focus on my job. But that's not the point. The point here is that with Let's Plays, as much as I would love to do them, they're not getting any views, and I do want to continue doing Let's Plays, and there likely will still be Let's Plays on the channel. Me and Grim just started Saints Row 3 as a co-op Let's Play, which I kind of want to do more of. I want to do less single-player Let's Plays and more co-op with him, since he's a pretty good friend of mine. But rest assured, single-player Let's Plays will be there. I haven't done Crash 3 yet, because I haven't felt like playing the Insane Trilogy. That's why you've been seeing these random one-offs come up instead of being on Spotlight. Now, that got me thinking, why not start a second show of sorts? It's very loosely, I use the word show loosely, because it's not a show per se, it's just me playing games and putting the spotlight on some games that I like in Spotlight, even though Spotlight started off playing anything. Playing bad games. I think I've played only maybe 2 or 3 bad games on Spotlight, and most of them have been good games that I like. Now, what if I took that concept and made a quote-unquote show where I play games that are not well received, games that are critically panned, or, you know, games that are just there. They're either mediocre, or they're bad, or they're even good. A work in progress title for it that I have is The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. And I want to evolve that eventually into not just gameplay, but, you know, turning it into sort of a semi-review series, maybe going over the history of what happened with this particular game, sort of similar to what Matt McMuzzles does with What Happened, but not the same thing. My interpretations of this, what I found in the history by looking it up, not claiming that I know any of it, because definitely would do my research on that, but then I could expand that, if The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, expand that beyond games and onto the game industry, or onto stuff like other media, like movies, for example. It's ideas that I've been contemplating because I want to get back into YouTubing and actually having fun YouTubing. This has become kind of a chore for me now, and it's probably been noticeable because I don't do much of anything in advance. I usually end up being busy, and I end up realizing I haven't recorded anything, so I record something like most of these Spotlight videos. Most of these Spotlight videos end up being recorded the night before or the morning of, and then I hastily throw it together. There was only like one small period of this year where I actually recorded Spotlight videos ahead of time. And the 10th episode for this season is coming up, and it's supposed to be a special, and as of right now, I don't know what that special would be. I could do something like 3 Android games, but I've already done that as a one-off. Or I could do something completely different. I don't know. This is where this kind of this rule set that I set up for Spotlight is kind of biting me in the ass. That I set up a rule that every 10 episodes, it would be a particularly special episode. It started off as a compilation of Crash Bandicoot fan games, which the first 3 episodes that all the way up to episode 30 were Crash Bandicoot fan games parts 1, 2, and 3. And then after that, I believe I just started going with the idea that, okay, there'll be compilations. There'll be more than one game. That got old pretty quick because I couldn't figure out how to group them together. So I decided, okay, we're just going to say 3 games. Not 3 scary games or anything, but 3 games. Or I think I had one episode where I did 6, and I'm not ever doing that again. That made that video almost an hour long, and that's 6 games I had to play for short periods of time, so I couldn't really enjoy them that much. Now, there's also the other idea that Spotlight could become something like I do long recorded sessions, but then I just trim it down to highlights about it, and it's just Spotlight. It's just putting on a Spotlight, but then that's not a Spotlight, then that's just a showcase. The idea of Spotlight is for me to play it, and it's on Spotlight, so I like it in a way. Even if the game is objectively bad, I like it in a way. Like, I contemplated doing a Spotlight on Duke Nukem Forever, because I legitimately find it actually enjoyable to play, knowing it's a bad game, going into it knowing it's a bad game, but I still get some enjoyment out of it, like throwing the poop around and all that. But that's where I come at sort of a weird impasse kind of thing. I don't think that's the right word, but I'm going to use it anyway. That I just need to figure out what I want to do with the channel. Let's Plays don't seem to be the thing that I want to do for the rest of the channel's life cycle until I decide to give up. Unfortunately, I've contemplated that several times now within the last year and a half that the channel's been reactive. And that's mostly because I've been discouraged. I've gained subs and I've lost subs. I gained a sub and lose a sub in the same day. But I need to not pay attention to that. That stuff is honestly bullshit. Anybody that I made friends with when I was originally YouTubing prior to revitalizing myself in 2018, what back in 2014, 2015, I don't really talk to anymore. And I don't even know if they're still doing the YouTube. And I don't know if they're still around. I don't know if they even remember me. Some of them I still have on my Facebook, but other than that, and occasionally talking to people, I don't have any contacts or anything. And apart from Grim, I don't have really much people to do co-op with. And co-op is fun because I have somebody to work off of, and doing improvised jokes is easier that way. The one thing that I would have to get used to if I wanted to do a review series or a semi-review series is figuring out the script and writing the script. Not only do I need to teach myself more editing, but then there's the script. And I have not had much experience with script writing. I have heard it's not as bad as some people might think. It takes some getting used to. I love to write, so that might help. But there are games that I want to cover on this channel that wouldn't be appropriate for Spotlight, because Spotlight's supposed to highlight gems. It's supposed to highlight interesting things. Not necessarily good, but interesting. But that's why I want to do something alongside Spotlight. Not necessarily replace it. Spotlight would still exist and be a Friday show during its seasons. Though I am considering toning down the episode count again, because the first season for Spotlight was 40 episodes. The second season for Spotlight was 20. Now, it's going to be 20 for season 3, but for season 4, I'm considering toning it down to 10. Every season's 10 episodes, and then there's probably a 2-month break in between. I think that might be a better idea for me, because then I don't have to rush and do these spotlights because I forget to do it earlier in the week because of my job and I'm too tired when I come home, or something else distracts me, or I have something to do that isn't related to gaming. That's happened quite a bit, honestly. But I don't want to do that. I've already reduced the 40 to 20, which is 20 weeks each season, as long as I'm consistent with Fridays. But I think 10 weeks would be more manageable, because, let's be honest, with Season 3, I'm already burnt out. I had a completely different plan for Season 3. It was supposed to be the idea that I would go back, look at my older videos, and then, pick out some games that I remember enjoying, and then play them on Spotlight as sort of a retro channel replay kind of thing. like a special. The season that was like Spotlight Retro Channel Play Edition. I might still do that. I might actually do that for season 4 because at this point, season 3 is it's going to be halfway done this Friday. That's sort of what I want to try planning. I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do, but I think that would be pretty interesting rather than me going back to itch.io for another season and picking games that are interesting to me at random. There have been occasions where I have been actually given a link and asked to look at a game, and that's fantastic. I love it when that happens. That means somehow somebody's found me, and it does make me feel good inside that somebody actually would send me a link to their game and they're requesting me to play it. But I have no idea what I want to do with the channel. I don't know how to animate. I can't voice act. I haven't actually taught myself how to do it. I can't really draw. The icons you see have either been drawn by one or two of my friends, Remnant and Faith SDK. And I tried my hand at trying to do my own icons so I could have a unique icon per Let's Play or per game where I could have my character dressed in a similar fashion to whatever character I'm playing in that game. But that doesn't work out. I mainly do traditional doodling, and that's why I'm going to call it doodling. It's not very good. And yeah, it doesn't translate well to digital. I have a tablet. It was a cheap tablet. It was like a beginner's tablet, like $70 for Wacom. I like it. I enjoyed the tablet, and I was able to draw a little bit, but I, for some reason, just lacked the patience. I think that has a lot to do with the environment around me and certain particular reasons I'm not going to get into, but it's there. The motivation isn't there, and the motivation for running the channel is also dropping. That's why I was trying to do another idea that every 6 months I would do a bit of a highlight video showing what the highlights were between 6 months from the last video, that highlight video, and to the current highlight video. That didn't really happen because the first highlight video I had was, I think, a re-upload of my original highlight video from games that I haven't played in quite a while. And yeah, then I made a second one, and I tried to put a bit more effort with editing and make it look like a TV flip, like a flipping through the channels. But for the most part, I couldn't really bring myself to put anything in it besides maybe that episode of Spotlight. One of the specials was a Game Jam thing, and several funny things happened during that. And same thing with a Crash Bandicoot fan game thing. I don't know. There's also a chance that with Spotlight I could rename it, I could change it, I could cancel the show and then try to do a new show. I don't want it to come to that, and I don't know how many people actually that are actually subbed to me would actually care that if I were to cancel Spotlight and say season 3 is going to be the last season, I'll work out the last 10 episodes and then there's no more Spotlight. Because that makes me get reminded of what I actually did almost 5 years ago. It was 2014, a little bit of 2015, so 4 to 5 years ago that I tried to do. I believe I called it on my original channel before Neo Tanner, which was Crash Freak. It doesn't exist anymore, so don't try to go find it. The original concept was it was quick play. And I've contemplated bringing that back, where the quick play is just me playing a game. It doesn't matter if it's good or bad or ugly. It's just me playing a game and my reactions to it. That lasted, I think, 8 videos, maybe. And half of those videos were re-uploads on the Neo Tanner from my old channel, Crash Freak. And yeah. Then I discontinued that. And then I decided to quote-unquote reboot it into a series called Let's Look At, which I believe No, First Impressions. Let's Look At was after First Impressions. I decided to reboot Quick Play into First Impressions, where I would only play games that I hadn't played before, which did work out a little bit because I had a couple of episodes of games that I ended up getting for free, and I was able to play and look at it with a first impression. And then I realized that really limited me. That limited me to only new games, only games I had never played before, and if there an interesting game came out, or if I knew a lot about a game, that game would not qualify for that show. So I decided to end it after 30 videos, 30 episodes. I think the last episode was a game, I can't remember the name, Elliot's Quest, I think, was the last episode. Yeah, Elliot's Quest was the last episode of First Impressions. I remember that because it was kind of fun, and it was a Zelda 2 thing. It's one game that would qualify for me going back to it. Same thing with Whispering Willows, which has so far been, I think, the only horror-esque game I've played on this channel. And I'm not that big into playing horror games, so that's quite a feat. But then I did Let's Look At, and that was the one that lasted even shorter than that. Let's Look At was just my way of trying to broaden the horizon, basically first impressions, but now there's a stipulation that I could look at a game if it interested me or piqued my, it piqued my interest, more or less. I just said that twice. But then I discontinued that because there are reasons that I don't want to disclose why I discontinued it. And that's right around after that I even had Saturday Morning RPG being played as a Let's Play, and I want to go back to it. I need to restart it. It's been too long, and I would need to restart it anyway. And that just stopped. Same thing with Undertale. Undertale just stopped, but I have no interest in going back to Undertale. I'm sorry. I'm over Undertale. It's a good game, don't get me wrong, but I have no reason to go back to it. I have no reason to actually try and delete my save and try completely over, do the pacifist route, then do a genocide route, or attempt to do a genocide route. I remember, I don't have the footage anymore. I remember that I actually was going to do that. I did the neutral route because I was a good guy, but then I would kill the bosses, do the neutral route, and I believe I had footage that I finished. I don't recall if I ever actually finished the Let's Play. I don't think I did, but I had footage where I finished it, and then I started a genocide route. I think I got to Undyne, and then I gave up because it wasn't worth my time learning her patterns and trying to quote-unquote get good, and I wasn't having fun anymore. And if I played Undertale now, I still wouldn't have fun. And that's the ultimate goal, to play games, is have fun. There are games that I want to play as a Let's Play that could be fun, but I'm not entirely sure that they would be fun to actually record. I want to record some PS3 games. That'd be fucking amazing, but I don't have the means to do that. I have an Elgato, but then I'll have to alter OBS significantly to work with the lag. I'd have to figure out how to make sure that the TV is not making sound so it's interfering with the microphone. And when I did try to set it up, it had a whole bunch of wires, and it just was not worth it. That's why pretty much any of my Let's Plays have mostly been PC games, unless I can get an emulator work like the Android emulator that I did for the Ruby Knights Chronicle crossover, and the 3 Android games one-off. But yeah, again, this is what's meant to be an update video, but this is sort of going into the history of the channel, and I didn't mean to do that. I didn't mean to rant. And according to my recording software, I have been talking for about 19 minutes, and I don't think anybody's listening at this point. I just needed to say stuff. But yeah, the main point of this was to say that Spotlight, while the interest is diminishing because I need to do something different with it. I need to do something different on the channel, not just Let's Plays, but I don't want to completely remove Let's Plays. It's just hard to keep going, is what I'm saying. Motivation's not there, and I know. If you are still listening to this, I know you're just shaking your head like, oh, it's another whiner, another complainer about not really getting any attention, not getting any views or subs. That's not the point. The point is that I'm not having that much fun with the current formula that I have. I need to finish out Season 3, or I could be an asshole and just say this next episode will be the last Spotlight episode. I could do that. I don't want to, but I could. But I'm not gonna. I'm contemplating adding another show and then adding that runtime to, like, maybe it's not Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Maybe it's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then the rest of the week is I have off. Or I could do the route of being bold and having Saturday, Sunday, and Monday as the upload days. It would only be 3 days because I do not have the audience to upload daily. and I remember how that felt. I used to upload daily, and God, that was awful. This is demotivating, but God, I was uploading daily back in 2014, and I fucking hated it. I don't advise it. But anyway, I'm getting off topic, and it's already been about almost 22 minutes. So if you've actually gotten this far, then kudos to you. You somehow managed to listen to my rambling this entire time. But there's one thing I want to talk about as well. I've considered redoing Twitch. I have not finished my hardcore playthrough of We Happy Few of the permadeath, even though I came close to death because I haven't played it since the last time I streamed it. And I know that the DLC's come out, and I know that they've done some serious bug fixing as far as the patch notes say. I don't have any of the DLC yet, and I want to get it. But if I go back to it, great. I'll probably die immediately because I won't remember anything. But my point is, the segue to this, is that I do want to do Twitch more than YouTube. Probably not. And Twitch streams would probably be restricted to weekends, probably in the evening, depending on how busy my day is and depending on my work schedule, I guess. But that's it. Just one more thing that I wanted to say, that I do want to do streaming more, and if you guys are interested in watching me stream, then that's great, but I have no idea what I want to do with this channel still, and I can't reiterate that enough. But thanks for listening, if you're still here. I'll see you guys in the next video, and I promise this next upcoming week will be a Monday, Wednesday, Friday schedule, not last week where, well, yesterday and stuff, where it was Tuesday, Wednesday, and then it was suddenly not Friday, it was Saturday. But yeah, but thank you. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.